freedom and beauty to everyone. I am the Technomage and welcome to my review of Netflix Avatar the Last Airbender. And I'm going to try to make these videos short. I'm going to make one video per episode of this series, and I'm going to discuss just the things I like and I don't and that I didn't like about each episode, whatever problems I found in this series. I'm not going to discuss every single part of each episode scene by scene because that would be too long, and honestly it's not necessary because I think by now all of you have seen this series. I mean, I'm really late into the party with this review, so I'm just going to get to it. Well, just some final words before I begin. I loved Avatar the Last Airbender. I actually watched this series first in the Latin American dub of the series. I didn't saw the original American English except with The Legend of Korra. That series I actually watched in the original language, but my first experience with Avatar the Last Airbender was with the Latin American dub, as I said, and I absolutely love it. This series was wonderful. It combines fantasy and adventure, some things that I love, with and plus with martial arts that control the elements. Oh, this series was genius, absolute genius. And it wasn't just the fight scenes, it was also the characters, the story. They created a universe, a rich and deep universe filled with stories and culture and people. The characters of the series were so real, so lifelike, so human that you could identify yourself with them and understand their joys and sorrows and struggles, because the series felt so real. And my first thought starting to watch this series was that please don't suck, because this series is produced by Netflix, and we know what happens when Netflix does a live action adaptation of a series. And yes, some of you may think, oh, but they did One Piece. Well, I'm going to discuss the One Piece live action by Netflix in my review of the final episodes of this series. So let's get to it. So first of all, the series looks amazing. I mean, I have absolutely no complaints with the landscapes, the special effects, and the costumes. All of those are perfect for a live-action adaptation of an animated series. But what I do have a problem with,
all eyes will be on the Earth Kingdom,
is the makeup work. I mean, seriously, I think I didn't saw a single beard or mustache or any type of facial hair that actually looked real on the series. Like, seriously, I mean, look at this. It's awful. Anyway, the first problem I noticed after I watched episode 1, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the name of the episode. This episode is called Aang. Is this series has some serious pacing and time allocation problems. And what do I mean with that? The series starts with this very long exposition about the beginning of the 100-Year War. And seriously, because in the original series we discover what started the 100 Years War piece by piece throughout the first two books of the first two seasons of the animated series. And we get one clue, one date, one event at a time. Here we start immediately with Fire Lord Osai beginning his his plan for world domination. And
Because it is our
bloody
time.
hell! Whoa! Okay, first of all, in case you didn't know, Avatar, the original series was... Oh, sorry about this. Oh, bloody hell. The original series was TV Y7FB, meaning it's for a child audience with fictional violence, and it was intended for an audience of 7 years or older. The Netflix series became a TV PG with paternal guidance, and I can tell why, because throughout the series there is a ton of brutality, which honestly is unnecessary. There was no need to watch this man being burned alive. None. But here we have it in front row.
Time.
And here we have it, meat cooking. Bloody hell. Serious. And this is not the only time, by the way. Spoiler alert. We will see a lot of people burning in the series. But anyway, and as I was saying, pacing and time allocation problems, we waste a lot of time on this. Because then, well, we have the intro of the series, the titles, and then we have this whole introduction about Aang and the airbenders, and Aang discovering that he is going to be, that he is actually the Avatar. And I say this is a time allocation problem because this series is only 8 episodes long. And the first, which adapts the first season, the first book, the book Water of the animated series. And this first season of live action is only 8 episodes long, of 1 hour each. And they waste so much time with exposition, just talking. Here's something I mean. In the original series, first we meet Aang, who is this cheerful, happy-go-lucky kid, airbender, free as the wind. And little by little, we discover, well, first of all, in the first episode of the animated series, we discover that he is the Avatar. Then, little by little, episode by episode, we discover that he's actually very insecure about this. He's afraid of his power and his destiny. But in this series,
supposed to save the world?
they just say it.
He said.
And we have this monologue of Aang
Not someone
just
who can
exposing
stop the
his feelings, talking about his feelings, but not showing his feelings. I mean, we get it. As I said, in the original series, we can see that Aang was very anxious about being the Avatar. They showed us his anxiety, but we didn't. But here they tell us, and as I said, this series has showing and telling problems and pacing and time allocation problems, and trust me, this is just the first example. And then, oh, remember that I mentioned brutality? Well, yes, there is a lot of brutality and people burning because we have the Fire Nation attacking the Air Temple, and bloody hell, there's people outright burning, like bloody hell, people burning alive, and even poor Yutso. For a moment, honestly, I was expecting for Netflix to show us Fire Lord Sozin actually burning the children alive. But anyway, the episode continues, and the rest is actually quite impressive. I mean, we have here Sokka and Katara in their southern water tribe village, and they look amazing. Like serious, as I said, costume wise and ambientation, scenography, all of that. This series is perfect. My compliments to the costume designers, and the rest goes quite well. I didn't show the scene of Katara practicing her water bending. Then they discover Aang. Everything goes quite well, but then again, the exposition.
Master of all four elements.
Because Gran recognizes Aang as first she recognizes him as an airbender, and
He
then
vanished.
she discovers that
Do you, young man?
he is the last airbender, so he has to be
Airbend whole time.
the Avatar.
Last time that the
spot in the world.
And again, exposition. We didn't know that, we didn't need for Gran to tell us all about that, because we already know. Because first of all, we watched, practically everybody has already watched the original animated series. And second, they already showed us all of that at the beginning of the episode. We already have a narrator telling us all of that. And again, more exposition and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. And I mean a lot. But finally, we get some action. And we had some really good action. I mean, as I said, there was some really unnecessary brutality on the massacre of the Southern Air Temple. But still, it looked awesome. I mean, look at this. We actually found people that actually know how to fight Kung Fu. Went back into the Southern tribe. We have...
I demand that you leave army.
This fight with Zuko, and the actor who plays Zuko, he actually took some martial arts instructions, because he knows how to fight. The same with the actor for Aang. And the special effects are quite well. They are amazing. I mean, for a live action, as I say, live action adaptation and all that, the choreography and the fighting scenes are perfect. And then again, as I said, makeup, that burn mark looks awful. That's not a burn scar. That's not burn tissue. That's a black eye. Somebody punched Zuko in the face. That's all that this is. But anyway, that is the series continuing pretty much as the first episode of the original series. They capture Aang. They take him to this ship. Then they rescue him. Then they go to the ruins of the Southern Temple, and Aang discovers the skeleton of Yatso, which in the original series, when we saw this, it was impactful. It was a punch to the gut, because we had already a couple of episodes meeting Aang, and as I said, we meet this carefree, cheerful, happy-go-lucky kid, airbender, free as the wind. And then we have this horrendous, horrible, haunting scene of him walking through the ruins of this temple that was once his home. And then we saw the skeleton of Yatso, and it was gut-wrenching. I mean, holy hell! The destruction, the desolation, the sorrow of Aang, that in his pain he goes into Avatar state. But here, it doesn't have the same impact, because we already saw it. We already saw the brutality, and by this moment, it's very watered down. So anyway, this is my review of episode 1 of Avatar the Last Airbender by Netflix. Hope you enjoy, and hope you follow me on the rest of the review for the rest of the series. So this is the Technomage signing off. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.